We're live. Shit, you're not on the. There you go.
No way.
You're on. You're okay. Okay. So, welcome to another episode of Dead PG3D every day. And during the weeks, we've come across some amazing videos, some spectacular news that
Yeah,
may seem we may seem quite optimistic, but for the devs, this is not a
we
good.
have
This is
been.
this is not a good. This is not a good thing. But for us, this is some spectacular news. So
Yeah.
basically, the topic is about conspiracy theories, and
Conspiracy theories,
today's
could you
topic,
guess, man?
tonight's or today's topic, whatever it is, which side of the globe you are on, it's about conspiracy theories, part two. Mainly about our own sentiment, me and bosses, about why the game is such a shithole that and that people that just never fails to repel people from playing this game. And
Actually
recently,
amazing.
on the platform, the YouTube platform, we're starting to see some videos from the big content creators, the notable influencers in the community, trying to rebel. Like, I wouldn't say rebel, but like trying to give awareness, as if that will actually help for the past like a few years. But I guess that's some effort, shots were fired, but let's hope they hit this time. And yeah, we're still watching them. I think there's more to come as time goes by, you know. But majority of the videos are well said. They've come with some actual good points. Whether the devs will actually take them into account, we would not know. We do not know. We are not sure. So yeah.
Uh, I mean, it's really hard to say right now, isn't it? So yeah, that's like the topic for today. As clmt has stated, there's been changes in the PG3D creation sphere that also started to create some very interesting videos from the more notable YouTubers out there who are speaking their minds. Echo Soldier, probably the most notable change out of all, because I can firmly believe he's the big dog out there who, whenever I just saw the video, the first video of him just actually ranting out the game, I was like, damn, this looks more genuine than the last few times he might have complained, because we remember what happened at those times. Starting to see some fresh air. Really.
It's quite a sight to see on the platform, just seeing big YouTubers actually voicing out their own opinion and the dislikes about the game, instead of just being like, how would I say, just being obedient instead. Try not to like throw shame onto the devs. You know,
Yeah,
they're
pretty
finally they're
much.
finally having, how would I say, they actually start to like trying to break free from this one heck of a, how would you say
Mess.
this, one heck of a mess. Yeah, you could say that, because
I mean, it's just an absolute cesspool
I know,
after
I
all.
know.
What can I say?
Well,
So, anything you want to say? Anything to
so
start off this episode with?
all right, so let's start with my take on why the game is such a shithole. So
Yeah.
from what I experienced, it's quite simple. It's not as harsh. You know the famous saying, everything comes to an end, and inevitably for Pixagon as well. You can kind of tell that its time is almost up. The devs are just taking so many measures that I cannot describe them. They're trying their really best, their very best to like to keep the game going. But honestly, I don't think it's kind of worth. If I was like one of the devs, I would actually think of that as well, because honestly, this game's like 10 years, 11 years actually, and clearly you can see the player count drops because mainly the world the world is demanding. It's becoming more demanding towards the player base, towards their community. I would assume most of their player base is like, let's just make a rough estimate, like they're like from the 2006, like mine for example, or even earlier. And right by now, they should be in college. Some of them even quit Pixagon because of college, which is sensible, which is reasonable. Because why would you sacrifice your study time where instead you can become a more sourceful, a more useful member of society instead of just spending your time just playing this game. Sorry if
I
I
mean, I get
Yeah, sorry if I like delay a little bit. I did not drink just now. I am not drunk. I am not drunk.
man just processing word by word
Yeah, because I
what
don't wanna
happened to me.
I don't want to end up like how I was before, just having trouble speaking for some apparent reason because my brain cannot comprehend. I have this bad habit of
Right.
speak my mouth just talks faster than my brain can process, and this is not a good
Mm.
sign. But yeah, basically the world has demanded them more as time goes on. A good example would be Nubite, who quit Pixel Country a few years ago, uh, f- for the sake of his college. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's definitely nothing wrong with that.
Ah,
Yes,
valid reason to quit the game.
yes. Like if anything, right? Like even if even hypoth, hypo, what's the word?
Hypothetically.
Yes, hypothetical. I can't even speak. Yep, you see it happen again. Even if the game is good, okay, people will still drop the game because of, like I said, something else, like the studies, families, or anything else, because obviously it's just a video game, and there's definitely something else that is much worth to do so, you know, to do for, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So that's the most obvious one. Like another example would be Crazy PG3D. He actually quit Pixagon during New Year's 2024, and
Madness.
I'm still here playing it. God damn it! So yeah, Chris Pichichi quit the game because he wanted to focus more on his studies. I assume that he's failed his Spanish test so many times that his parents are not happy about it. That's just my guess. It's either Spanish or French. I can't remember which class he took. Yeah. So
Huh.
yeah,
Okay.
he okay. He quit clans. That's for sure. But he sometimes play. But he does sometimes play the game, just time to time. If you check his profile, the last time he was online was like at least months ago. But he still gets on. I think he still gets spoon fed by the devs. I'm not entirely sure about that. But we all
Hmm.
know that he isn't as active anymore. He doesn't play the game as much anymore. Yeah,
Right.
and
Man, just brought.
I think that time will eventually come soon for me as well, because my college starts in September, and honestly, I also thought of like quitting the game, but then again, I have this afraid of missing out shit, that syndrome, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, the FOMO.
Yeah,
Right.
fear of missing out.
Uh,
So maybe if I
you
once
know,
I
you know
overcome.
what? You know what? The thing is, there's always new joys up ahead.
Yeah,
Just gotta wait and then pull through, and you'll sure get it.
yeah, it takes time, really, honestly. Look, it's just this year. Okay, so it's really a matter of time before I actually drop the game for good, or just take like a absurdly long hiatus. How long is that? No idea.
I mean, I'm just waiting, and I've been waiting, man.
Yeah, I know you've been waiting for a long time.
I've been waiting, and like I've been interested to see like what would you do when you stop playing the game? What other games would you be playing besides the one very obvious game I see you playing every now and then? I log onto Discord.
What, Roblox?
Not really that, but
Oh,
yeah,
Ultra Kill.
sure,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Maybe I'll actually start focusing on the hobbies that I'm actually interested and wanted to pursue in during my free time, like music production, or probably upgrading my channel, my YouTube channel.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see.
Yes. So maybe, but it it's about time. You know, it's only a matter of time before I actually drop the game. I just don't know.
Yeah.
At this point, I just ironically I still play for the fun of it, and yeah, it's really short term. No, it's really short lived. The fun. it's kind of short lived. Like one session, sometimes it feels like a chore. The moment it feels like a chore, I would just log out and do something else.
I mean,
Because the game, right, its targeted demographics are obviously for children, and once they grow up, they won't have the same interest anymore. The interest will be lost over time. So, and apparently, the generation the Pixagon has grown, the generation of kids slash players the Pixagon has grown up with, yeah, it's slowly started to lose connection. How would I say? How would I put this into it? The
I
people who
see.
used to enjoy this game, like you and me, you were like we're like the same generation.
I mean, yeah, we had our fun, man.
Yeah, we had our fun.
We surely had. The thing I believe is that, like some other YouTubers have mentioned regarding how PG ain't really doing so well when they're trying to make it look like they're doing so well. It's just because like their game design, not only one is just not really respecting the normal people's lives, like the time that they have usually, but it also has like several factors to it as well from just outside the game, like IRL aspects that just makes it look like that. Oh man, you don't really have that much time to spend on PG3D, and we've taught like probably countless of times where PG3D just you'd require like hours of gameplay to even make some significant progress into the game. In which back when I was 16 and all that, I had like all the time to just do that because there was like nothing else other than that simple ass school that I was part of. And then as we grow older, this model doesn't seem to change and take shapes, morph into something new and exciting, goes out of fashion, which is probably one of the main things that's happening right now in my own like simple as conspiracy theory to why the game is simply dying out.
I think
That's
like
just that in it.
the best way to describe what we just talked about is that to keep things short and simple, the game has lost its relevancy a long time ago. Well, to us at least, because we definitely found more interest than just Pixel Country D alone. And obviously, other factors include the shitty ass practices they've taken into and all that stuff that only makes it even worse, that repels us even further from playing this game, let alone enjoying it. So I think the
Yeah,
sad truth, I think really the sad truth is just the game has lost its, like I said, the game has lost its relevancy. Other huge hits, unlike other hit games, you know, has hit like the, how would I say this? Ah, shit, there's a saying for this too. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that there are other games out there. Honestly, there are,
the grass is green on the other side.
yeah, they perform, they're more performant, they're more successful, like Lethal Company. Because like I said, like a game like, let's say, Lethal Company and Fortnite, they are younger. They release like they release after Pixel Country D. Pixel Country D is older than Fortnite and Lethal Company, so its time is almost up. It's just we just have to wait when it actually, you know, shut the servers down. And this is one of the secondary objectives of this game, of this podcast, is just waiting. We're basically just Pixel Country D's doom clock and just see how many episodes it takes before the game actually shuts down for good.
Or if it gets any kind of miracle of some sorts.
Yeah, like
It's
some
it's either way.
yeah, nowhere in between, honestly.
So yeah,
You know that saying goes, you know that funny line, that famous line of you either become a hero or long live enough to see yourself to become the villain. I think that kind of describes Pixar on 3D right now. If you think about it,
right.
if you kind of think about it, it was part of our childhood. That's why we're here. That's why all of us are here. It was part of our childhood. It used to be one of the best games on your phone, and now on PC as well, it's just becoming a shithole.
It's sad.
I
It's
know.
just sad, man.
It's a
I
sad
want
ending.
It's like, yeah, I was like, I just want to see things get better, not worse like this, which is Probably the same for pretty much all of the players who quit the game. Just like, oh, they didn't see anything better. Okay, I guess I'll leave it behind for now. And shit like that. And then time passes by and see what happens. It's either gone or just got a refresher. So what else? What
That's
else really?
that's actually my take. That's actually my take. That's like if you want me to
Shortest
go.
podcast ever. Let's go, guys.
Oh
No.
my goodness. I mean, if you want me to go even more in depth, I can talk about the other dislikes. I mean, mainly, if you were to talk about recent times, cross playing is also a factor. It's also a huge problem, considering considering the game is now on Steam. Apparently, mobile players are either migrating to PC or just quit the game entirely, because obviously
Pretty much.
there's a huge skill gap. There's a huge advantage for the PC players in general. They can aim better. Even with the sniper accuracy enough, it doesn't really change much because people can just quick scope either way. I do that a lot of
Yeah.
times. And yeah, that kind of
Like
ruins the fun. I've seen players, I've seen my friends hashtagging, remove crossplay from Pixelgun 3D type stuff on their username, and and honestly, the only thing I can do is just feel bad for them. Like it's not I'm gonna hop on back on mobile. Honestly, like such a pain. Plus, I've got accustomed to PC. Frankly speaking, I've always wanted to be good at both sides, but unfortunately, I cannot be master of everything.
even though that would be cool.
I know it would be cool being but I can only be a jack of all trades, except for
Yeah.
Xbox. Except for Xbox, I do not have a controller. I do not have a controller in my room. But yeah, recent. If you want to talk about, if you want to go recent, yeah, the crossplay is also a huge issue. It's also a huge issue that repels the players from playing the game, especially mobile players. And regarding hackers, hackers is also one of them. But right now, the hacking issue is somewhat toned down. I rarely see hackers right now, especially in tournaments, because they are fucking dead. Lobbies are dead.
Ah,
The
right.
next issue, the lobbies are dead. We're basically repeating what we've discussed about in the previous conspiracy theories because
Yeah.
the game never
Which
changes. You see, the
it
game
does
never
sure
changes.
have impact on our content. God damn.
I know, and we're not the only ones. We're not the only ones who's affected by this because of the lack of content. We got big creators. We got big creators trying to actually starting to voice up, and actually make videos spreading awareness. And from what I've seen right now, I think Echo's motive, no, not Echo's motive, Echo's recent video, gave the other creators a motive to go against the devs, especially the ones who are in the CC content creator program.
Oh my god.
I swear to God,
You're like super like not wanting to even say
do not
the
abbreviate
abbreviation.
content creator program. Worst mistake of my life. The threads are chasing me. They are knocking on the
Um,
door.
oh my
The
god,
Chinese
man.
feds are up my ass.
You could not imagine. The next second before you even know it, they already stormed in and just enjoy your stream.
Oh my god. So yeah, ever since Echo made that rebellious video, I wouldn't say rebellious, it's just actually a small issue. It's a small, just a little bit video. I wouldn't say satire, but it basically gave the other content creator a motive to make videos against them because normally they wouldn't do such a thing, as if they're under some sort of contract they signed and saying that you must not throw shame, you must not throw dirt into the into the company's name or company or the game's name. But now they're starting to rebel, trying to go against them.
Right.
I kept repeating my words, but you get the point. So we got Echo, we got Main Gaming, and now we got Agent Shadow. Yeah, we kind of we're starting to see the pattern here. People are not the content creators, the ones who quit are silenced. They left silently, but the ones who aren't will not. They will not be silenced. From what I can see, this is a good thing because if the devs don't even listen to their videos, then it proves their point. And in fact, I've seen some of their videos getting taken down for whatever reason.
It doesn't really matter because people who watched it and then noticed that those kinds of videos are getting taken down. That just also proves the point that the devs just want to sweep shit like this under the rug and then still in their little bubble, thinking that this is all going well and shit like that.
Like honestly, if the game ends, but like I said, if the game ends as people's childhood, ends as a good game that people has loved, but the game died because their life has demanded more from them. That I can respect, but for Pixagon, because it's a shit game, so it won't be as surprising. So it's kind of deserved downfall. We all can agree that the game has definitely left some sort of distaste
I mean, for sure.
to the point that we have to abhor their actions in this fucking stream. In this stream, we have to abhor their actions.
Yeah, it's like this is like a way for us to contemplate and find solace in the madness that is Pixelgun 3D, to just have a talk and then feel relieved afterwards.
Honestly, I think that this podcast alone is like probably the biggest anti PG3D movement on the entire platform. This series alone, man.
I guess.
Like you've
I
seen,
guess.
like we've seen videos. People just ran the videos one or two before leaving the game for good, and you got us sitting in front of our desktop just ranting about the game with content more that is more than 24 hours collectively as
I
of
mean,
now.
that's
We have
huge.
2 seasons, more than 24 hours. Can you believe it? Just us talking shit about the game with 40
Yeah, and
minutes of
I'm
it,
happy.
with 40 minutes of it being the good side, good things PGD has done. No more after since.
Yeah, there was no more of that challenge
Yeah,
because
it was
it's
painful.
so hard.
That was
It
painful.
was it was a hard stream
I can't
that
think,
day, man.
honestly.
It was sure a hard stream, man, without doubt.
So yeah, um, so continuing down the memory lane, we got the PC release infested with hackers. Actually, way before that, and ironically, even the hackers. Speaking of posting videos, ranting videos, that even the hackers ha- uh, had a word for it. Had a word for it. You know, we even had words from the hackers themselves. Sorry if I can speak that well. I'm just trying to think of funny sentences, but yeah, even the hackers themselves, the modders, Luminaire, has something to say about this game, saying that it's a shithole. That why people should even he's as if is as if he's incentivizing hacking and modding the game, not to ruin the gameplay of others, but to literally just make your life easier on the game. And honestly, like Pixel 3D has fallen so deep. It has gone so deep in the iceberg that hacking sounds like a more rational approach than just playing the game normally. Because
Which is
nothing
crazy to even think about.
like is the like hacking is considered how would I say, pardonable? I don't know. But
Pardonable.
like that's how I would say it, because usually when you hack the game that goes against that's like going against the TOS, but then
You just like easier English, it would be forgivable than pardonable.
forgivable, yeah, pardon's a bit something else, but like people can understand you modding Pixel 3D. That's how deep it has fallen into the game.
Yeah, and then they go by like maybe just, hey, let's increase the game gem prices again. That's fun.
Yeah, but that doesn't really change anything.
No, it just makes things worse and just sets the difference gap between newer and skilled players, the poor and rich players, even
Yeah.
higher.
But why spending your hard-earned achievements on something that's just not worth it? Like your hard-earned currency just to get something that's just rigged, unfair, and obviously, if people start hacking the game, I won't be surprised why. It doesn't matter how it doesn't matter how good your anti-cheat. your anti-cheat system works. You
Mm.
always lose the end game at the arm race with the hackers at this point.
Because they don't develop anything significant against the
The
hackers. That's all.
like one YouTuber, I think it was yeah, Luminary as well. Again, he said how funny, because this is about our own opinions, but Luminary everyone's said that back then White Pixel 3D is still a top tier mobile game. Top tier as in like fun gameplay mechanically, while being infested with hackers like the developer console, is because the game is worth playing. You know what I mean?
I can believe that. I can believe
There's
that.
no shitty mechanics. Even if you hack, it doesn't cause much damage to the game itself. And the game was thriving really well back then in 2016. And now, unless you hack, you're not having a good time in the game, especially when you're low level. I've been to voice chats before in the Pixel Gun 3D server, and it hurts. It hurts to hear some new player, level 16, to say something like, "Wow, you guys are overachievers in this game," because we're legit. You guys are legit overachievers in this game. You guys inspire me to play this game more. I said, "Fuck no, do not play this game. You're level 16. Get the fuck out." I'm telling you, it hurts to hear something from a new player, just because I know inevitably his his passion for this game will crush really really soon the moment he hits a high level. It's only a matter of time. So I told him, get the fuck out. Do not play
Damn.
this game. I swear to God, if I inspire you, I am so sorry for you. I'm so sorry that I inspire you to play this game even more as a legit player, as a legit competitive player, because this is not worth your sanity. Like, it hurts to see. Yeah, it also hurts to see just someone getting inspired just to get crushed by the reality of the shithole that he's about to subject himself into. No, I told him to get the fuck out. No.
Right.
Yeah, so this is what the game has become. Hacking has become a more rational approach. Can you see this? Like, no other games will have such uh has such a viewpoint. This has this principle. I wouldn't say principle,
It's
but
actually madness, man.
I
It
know.
like it unironically hurts my brain cells sometimes. Just even thinking about it. This is not even a thing that you should even be considering in the first place. But like the circumstances were there. Those stars have aligned to even put this into thought. Like holy shit.
Like, I'm not even joking. When Luminar said that his prices are more reasonable than Big Gun 3D, I can never agree more. I could never agree more than with him, because it is. I have not checked the prices, but I assume it's really reasonable. What can you get from $100? What can you get with $100 from a modder compared to the game, to the actual devs? What can you get with $100?
I don't think a lot, man.
You
As
from a,
far as I'm aware of things.
With $100, you can get a lifetime subscription from the modder, lifetime warranty until the game fucking
Oh
dies,
yeah. Oh yeah, like
for
that. Okay.
100% max out everything. Versus $100 on the game, on the devs, you get a lottery for a season, and that's basically it.
Man. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. It's just crazy.
Back then, the developer console was free. Think about it.
Sure something, man. That
Yeah,
sure was something.
back then the developer console was free. It was so accessible, but yet the game was hardly was what scathed by it, from what I remember, because the game was actually enjoyable. What I would assume is
Mm.
that hackers and legit players doesn't have much of a skill gap, and now what it is today. Yeah, the
Yeah, I see, I see.
constant pop-ups, the rigged lottery system, the transactions. It's just crying out loud for you to either spend money on the game or mod the game. Seriously, if you mod
And
the game,
I guess most of the people choose the latter
I
now
know.
on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If you choose the latter, No one is gonna talk. No one's gonna criticize you. They, in fact,
Yeah, it's just-
will think that that is a more reasonable approach because you can
yeah,
get more, clearly more than a mod than from a modding menu than actually playing the game itself. Back then, we used to abhor modders and hackers for making the game unfair, but no, it's the other way around. If it wasn't for hackers, the game wouldn't be alive today. Still alive, on the verge of death. The fucking life support.
man,
Can you believe it?
man, it's sad.
I know it's sad. Like I've not heard any game that is ran by hackers, modders, if not modders in a game.
I don't know, man.
I heard people, like people told me in another voice chat saying that a guy went from a nobody to a modder in like five, not modder, like a modded account. He went from a zero account to a modded account in mere 5 minutes. Like holy shit.
Absolute madness.
That sounds believable. That's the issue. That sounds believable. Because back then
Holy fuck.
because back then modding is a complicated and meticulous process. It will take like days and probably commissions to get yourself a modding menu. But now it's so accessible. Unless you want to go for the premium ones, then that might cost you a bit. That might set you back a little. But it won't be as much compared to if you were actually gonna spend money on a game. Legit.
Yeah, like you already said it, man. If you spend on the game, if you spend money on the game, legit, you're gonna get far less than if you were to mod the game, which is again adds up to
I've
why this is just an insane thought.
I got to be I am really honest right here. I've run into multiple occasions where I actually considered modding the game on a separate account. I don't want to get my main account to get affected. That would be stupid. Excuse me. But I've came like I've experienced this sometimes. Like I just really want to mod the game. But then again, what holds me back is that the reality of me not playing the game in the future. So and the tedious process I have to go through, despite being accessible and easy, it is still tedious for modding the game sometimes because you
Mm.
have to try not to get detected by the poor games, the game's poor anti-cheat system. You know, it's
Yeah,
not hard to bypass it, but it's just tedious. That's the thing. There are like
right.
steps you have to take. Yeah, there are like precautions you need to be aware of, like not leveling up too fast or not getting yourself or not generating too much free currency in a short amount of time. All that stuff, just to avoid detection, simply. And despite the lifetime warranty, sometimes your modded account will last for weeks, sometimes for months, or even just days, right? And you have to repeat the process. So even if you have the lifetime warranty, it's still a tedious process. So it's definitely not for the impatient like me. So I had to ask myself, do I really want to subject myself into this tedious process called fucking modding the game? So I don't think I have the patience to do so, let alone paying for the subscription itself, because we all know that this game is gonna die. So my money will be gone to waste one way or the other.
Man.
So it's just best to just to be grateful for what I have right now and the times that the games was being generous.
Yeah, I guess that's how you can just take it really. I don't know what else to say in that regard. Really. We're just like holding 1 minute of just random silence just to process this insanity. Man. I was like, what can I Ah, that's what it was.
Yeah, my bad. I was interrupted by somebody. Sorry, what were you saying?
Ah, it says nah, it's just nah, I was like thinking that oh you were like quiet for a moment. I was like, ah, let's just process this for a moment.
Nah, no, no. What were you? Yeah, that's it. So
But
what?
hey, but
Yeah,
yeah. It's like whatever happens with this podcast, maybe we'll just transfer to like a podcast where you can actually not rant and instead of just talking about some cool shit that happens with games and shit. We'll see what happens
instead of
really.
just pick Country D alone, because we all know how stale this game is and how hard it
Yeah,
is to.
it's just stales and then by the day like again, the only thing that we're good at when it comes to PG3D podcasts like this is just figure out the next rant and the next rant, whether it be the same shit or actually something new. And I guess the whole uprising that I like to call it right now is the new thing. It's like this new star that I can actually look at
I'm actually quite.
for
I'm actually
eons.
interested. I'm looking forward into this one heck of an uprising. Just want to see what which YouTuber will voice up next. But
Yeah,
the majority of them we're seeing right now are from the content creator program because they have because
yeah.
I've seen a pattern where they will mention one thing, which is the content creator program chat. People they claim that they have giving suggestion countless times to the devs, and not to our surprise, the devs do not take any of them into account from what they said from the videos
No, I mean,
we've watched.
I actually believe that because one of the first Echo Soldiers, let's say, critique videos actually featured him say that there was like this bug that he reported to the devs and it was like a couple of years and nothing happened to that shit.
I know. The only
It's
thing,
actually
yeah, I know it's insane. Like the only thing the only thing they listened is just to remove Hermes from the content creator program, and that's basically it.
that's crazy.
I know.
Yeah, I was just looking at this one guy that commented by the start of the stream saying, "Wait, what? Like Hermes and shit like that, and how bad he was." Let me just go back to it again.
Big clown and
It was something. Yeah, big clown clickbaiter Hermes PG3D.
yeah. To come to think of it, having him on the podcast in hindsight, I don't, is it a worth? Is it a worth customer? Not customer, like a guest. Is it
We're in
worth
a
it?
new season, man. He's not here. He's not here
I
in our
know,
new
but
season,
he
even
was.
though we have had it.
Yeah, he was in the podcast. I remember I was having my lunch. I was having fried noodles with him. I was in the call
Damn,
eating, having fried noodles, and then Chronix came by in the like halfway through. Now,
he did.
yeah, Chronix was in the. I think Chronix was in the live stream in the podcast too. I'm not entirely sure, but in hindsight, having Hermes in the podcast left me question my own life decisions. Because right now, I don't think I'm right now. I'm not sure whether I should be believing his words or not during the podcast. Like the only thing I see reasonable, that I see that's trustworthy, is that he said that he was doing YouTube for money. I mean, who isn't? To be fair, I mean he gets paid from YouTube, so YouTube is like some sort of low paying job, I guess. And then he said that he has a his mother's is diagnosed with cancer, blah blah blah. Now to think of it, I'm not sure whether I should trust his words anymore after
I mean,
after all the exposing videos people have
I
Echo has done
mean,
on him.
I like. There's no need to worry too much about how much that specific episode will impact this podcast credibility
I know,
because
yeah. Just saying, he was.
it's been such a long time ago and things change.
I know. I thought
Things just change.
I thought Hermes would change for the better of the podcast. Saying we're just asking him why are you doing this? How are your videos exactly 6 minutes and 6 minutes and 12 seconds long? And now
Crazy.
it has changed for the worse.
Man.
Yeah. Well, what a shame. What a shame. He was removed from the content creator program. That was I saw we kind of saw that coming because
Yeah.
there's a reason why the devs done it, because Echo said that the devs do not want Hermes to represent their game, their content creator, so they got rid of him. As for the other content creator, the other YouTuber, KRBot Gaming, it's just because of man-child behavior. So I guess that's that's kind of deserved.
Okay.
But he's alright content-wise. It's just those average boring. At least it's not clickbait. But he was
I mean, that's
demoted.
good.
Yeah, but he was demoted for man-child behavior. So I guess I'm not sure which one's worse. Having making misleading videos or having a temper tantrum. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
Former or the latter? You choose. I'm not sure.
No clue.
Would you like to commit? Would you like to subject yourself into fraud? What's the word for fraud? What's the noun form for fraud?
Wait, what?
Hold on, hold on. I need to do some research.
Man is doing his research. Praise to Google.
Let me search up. Yeah, would you like to would you like to subject yourself into fraudery? Fraud, you know, from the with the fraud. I actually searched that out. I hope that's a valid word. Or just having a temper tantrum. So yeah, you choose.
Ah, I mean,
Those two YouTubers are like the only ones I know that have got kicked out from the CC program.
hmm,
And at
right.
some point, the dispute went so hard. The dispute between Echo and Hermes went so fucking hard. The devs had to temporarily blacklist both of their names in the Discord server. Just
I
like how
don't
they did
get
with all.
what. So this is not really a good way to cope with that, in my opinion.
It's just like how they cope with accidentally bringing back Ultimatum in a trader's van. God
Yeah, it's
damn.
like it's not really gonna make a damn difference.
You
People are
can't just
still
silence the
having their
people.
sentiments. Oh, that's like crowd control attempt,
You,
and
you can't just silence the people,
doesn't
man.
give. Yeah, that is just not giving a good look on you, really.
Yes, there's definitely not one way to do it.
Like really.
But I remember that time people harassed the devs, and I think they got banned, deserved. But I don't think the harassment was really necessary, considering that it's just a mobile game. I get it, we make mistakes, but I think both are in the wrong some way. One of them, one of them dealing the
One,
situation poorly, and one just not behaving well. So that's how I put it.
yeah, the entire circus, man. What can I say?
I know. I mean, we can talk about the community in later episodes. So, yeah. So
Like we always do, because we love the community in the game, man.
I know. It's kind of surprises me. You know what? Maybe we can slip it in for now. It kind of surprises me because I gotta be really honest. I've not really been active on the Pixel 3D server that much. I usually just
Well,
post the most nefarious shit. No, not really. The most mind blowing shit called bots in the server, or just some random screenshot that I just redeem as goofy R or something that's worth. So
you're using that. You're using that kind of wording, that goofy,
yeah, yeah. Like what
man.
else? The game is just as stale. Like those raging kids saying, "Oh, you're such a hacker," or just
Right,
or
right.
just bots, as in like player automated bots, not the ones from the devs. Like people actually automating their personal account on the game as bots. People suggested me to report those accounts, but I have not considered that yet. But yeah, the
Hmm.
community is funny. Like I have a separate Discord server. This is more like a friend server. Who are also in the Pixel 3D server. And then every single day, not every single day, but very frequently, very often, they will complain in the server, the friend server, saying how retarded and how fucked up the mentality of the server members are. And I say, damn, bro, I've never encountered any retards in my in a couple of months I've been in the server.
In a couple of months, you say?
Like the last time I had a stupid argument, I couldn't even remember. That's the thing. So that's how long it was before. Because mainly
Damn.
because usually when I hop into a server, it's just me posting like the most neutral, harmless, innocuous post, and people will either just laugh it off or just ignore it.
Maybe that's good that you didn't remember that much.
Honestly,
One less,
like
one less stupid bad thing to think about.
there's two type of members that my friends always post in that always share with me, which is the retarded ones, the weirdest, like the weird ones. You know, they describe it as NPCs, if you want to so call it, and then the other ones who just wouldn't shut the fuck up,
Huh.
that they
Really?
deem as deluded. Like basically what I'm
Damn.
saying in simpler terms. having arguments. I have friends. I have friends who would just who argues a lot in the Pixel 3D server for like the most retarded shit possible, which I reckon that can be easily avoidable, but for some reason it got onto their nerves. It has driven them to the edge. I have no idea how. I have no idea how that happened.
Hmm.
Seriously, like I rarely run into arguments with the PG3D Discord server members. I rarely do, seriously, and I do not know how my other friends will face otherwise. Like, how can they deal with arguments so frequent? Like they literally describe they literally like yeah, they literally describe the situation as like a way to make them feel like their brain's about to burst. Like goddamn.
Hmm.
And I was
Yeah.
like, you know what,
Oh man,
just let them.
I'm actually wondering if that's worse than my current fight against my own anxiety.
I'm not sure, like,
God damn.
and then the only thing I told them is just to let them stick with their own opinions. Let them say whatever the fuck they want. I couldn't care less.
It's like you say your own opinions, man, because most of the times the other party is not gonna get convinced.
I know, like, what's your point? Why are you doing? Like, they're arguing over the most pointless shit. Like, let them be entitled to their own opinions. If they get alienated, at best, it's their own. It's on them, honestly. Like, I fuck
Very
with the
much.
majority, obviously. I fuck with the majority if the majority thinks that way, or regards a certain topic that way, then so do I. Because really, there's no other way. Like a good example is like terminology. If you suddenly think it's a good, if you suddenly think it's a good idea to rename tree cat spam to something else, then you're out of your fucking mind. Do you have any idea how accustomed we are to the term tree cat spam to refer that certain playstyle? It's like suddenly calling it combo string, not to mock you, okay? It's like
It's like
suddenly calling it something else.
I'm not even feeling mocked
Like it's
because I feel like despite feeling that I'm the only one who coined that term for PG3D.
it hardly affects anything, right? It doesn't. You don't have to argue. Like people, like some people might sick of like calling it other thing and like anything else. Like if you were active in the Pixel 3D server, people might argue with you, but then again, it really wouldn't cause that much harm. I
Hmm.
would say just let people be entitled to their own opinions. If you share your own, that's fucking it. Call it a day. If you can convince uh, other else's mind, so be it. At least you shared your own. At least they give a
Yeah.
shit. If you know what I mean.
I
If
mean, at least you voiced your own opinion.
exactly.
That's like that's like the only thing. It's like just that really.
Like if they don't give a shit about your opinion, they wouldn't argue with you in the first place. Think about it.
Man, I just be like, oh, I hear that opinion is like I either agree or disagree,
Like
and that's it really.
I'm kind of confounded by the actual amount of arguable members, if you want to put it that way.
Really.
What a weird way to refer people. Like I've seen people arguing with like random strangers in the Discord, and even if I may find a valid argument or weird looking, like the point is that how the fuck do you get yourself in such a situation? Are
I
you
have
a
no
very
clue.
argumentative person? Are you a judgmental one? I have no clue. But the community, yeah, that's it. That's it for now. They are like the weird, but the most I've encountered is like the weird ones. That the ones that
Hmm.
just don't make sense at all. The weird that says
Um,
like weird shit, you know. But I
Maybe I should spend some time looking in the
yeah, just log
PG3D
in the Discord
Discord
server
chat.
and see what you find. A weapons and
Uh,
loadout channel. It's it
Weapons and
takes time.
loadout, you say?
Yeah, it takes time. General, okay, maybe, but people don't really pay attention to that much. And when they do, yes, people there's like this some sort of mob mentality. Is that not really a mob mentality, but
Someone said finally of getting Dino Slayer
no.
250 parts. What a brag, man.
No, I'm
Holy
saying
shit.
I wouldn't say mob
Let me
mentality
see.
because it is I wouldn't regard it as some sort of a mob, but like when weird shit happens in general, people will people will inform them and will inform them in weapons and loadouts. They'll be like, "Hey guys, look at off topic. Guys, weird shit is happening in general. You guys should look, go." So yeah, you if you just like you don't have to worry. Just check weapons and loadouts, and if weird shit is going on, they will tell you. Trust me. It's basically the cool.
Right.
It's basically the cool kids chat.
Okay.
That is such a weird term too.
Man, I'm just quickly looking at all, and yeah, they just be talking about some weapons and
Usually, you won't find anything like new, surprising, or
whether
unusual.
X or Y weapon is good or not, and
Yeah,
people just
use
voicing out their answers and shit like that.
the chat is usually neutral. You won't find anything unusual, and when they do, is usually involved. My friends are usually involved for some apparent reason. I don't know why, but it's like just seeing the screenshots in the separate servers just crackles me up sometimes. Yeah, just cracks me up sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
So yeah, well, we're at the halfway point. What's your take? Why do you think the game is such a shithole? And why people are leaving this fucking game? Why people are leaving
Well,
this
I
game?
think, I mean, I said a couple of things. Like the game's just gone out of fashion, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's nothing new. Like if you could make something new, then that's just that. But like their work ethic, and the game design, and how the flow works over there overall has just gone out of fashion, and just made it to where the game's becoming like the biggest dickhead, which is just sad to see, really. And other things, can't really think about like immediately. Can't exactly come up with something immediately in that regard. Whether there's other things, because like I just look at things in the bigger picture, see what actually was the contributing factor to why this have happened to whatever that I'm looking at. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. They're constantly just digging themselves deeper into this hole, digging their
Yeah, it's
own
like
gravestone.
there's like other aspects too. Might have been able to write an essay if I would just cycle my mind through and just recollect what actually happened and shit like that. Like again, you said about hackers, that also played a role, because that also causes like imbalance between legit and illegit players, as well as that apparently had an impact on balancing because of the devs' greatest decision making powers, or like devs' greatest decision making abilities. That was the word I wanted to say.
And ironically, being somewhat, if not one of the staples in this game, because it has become what's holding the game together right now. People rather play the game modded because this that is how they enjoy the game to the fullest. Honestly,
Man,
usually in the gaming universe, like modding and hacking usually are bored. They're not welcome. For Pixel 3D is a whole other story. Seriously, it has become a part of the
right.
game. Without it, the game would have been in a much darker position, in a much worse state right now.
I 100% believe that yes, the mods did make the game like sort of live.
Yes,
Or it's like it's literally just running the edge right now,
I know.
if I have to say anything. So like as soon as the mods have eradicated like about 100% of the legit players, once they all leave, the game is done for.
I know. So the next step into destroying this game is the devs actually putting effort to make a good anti-cheat system, and that's where the game will actually start to fall. Maybe,
Huh. Imagine you made an anti-cheat system
but you
just
lost
to
your
see your game
players.
die.
But you lost your players. So
So yeah, like as of right now, if anything to shine a bright light into the whole situation, They need to regain the credibility. They need to commit something of this Ford Chinese charactered Japanese Yojijigogo thing called Meo Bankai, which is literally Cyberpunk's what happened to Cyberpunk. Get what I'm saying? Because it didn't really have a great start.
Yeah.
They need to get a miracle. That's literally what I'm saying.
If they really want to live on, that's the
They need
thing.
to regain they really need to regain their lost credibility. That is Meo Bankai.
Sounds like Chinese though. But yeah.
If they could do that, that'd be cool. But it doesn't look like it will happen.
And even so, I don't think you
Just
would. Even so, they miraculously achieve and live on. I don't think you would play the game. I don't think you would play the game. Yeah.
uh, hard to say if the game for some reason just be miraculously revived and like survived and land, and then once they get that, like let's say they actually manage to get that, then they can actually do the anti-cheat, and
Yeah.
then they will be on better tracks than what they're currently on right now.
But I thought you vowed to never play this game again. I swear.
Yeah, because of I was like ultra pessimistic at that moment
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
because yeah, that was literally me back then.
Time will tell. Time
Now
will
with
tell.
the now with my anxiety attack, nah, man. You know,
Only.
maybe look with some starry eyes a little bit, and not just go all dark and light shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. I know what you're saying. Just only time will tell. Honestly. Maybe we can think of no. Actually, no. I don't think we can think of ways to miraculously revive the game. From our
It's hard,
standpoint,
man.
from our
It's
standpoint,
real hard.
it's really difficult.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But like again, it's all of these choices that probably makes us think that man, devs are so done for. Holy shit.
I know. How can
It's
they?
like it's hard to fathom even in the wildest imaginations
Like
of like how the game can get back.
how can you like fumble after another fumble?
How can you take an L after an L after an L and just like losing more credibility than the last time you did? That's that's just shocking.
Like honestly, the only thing they need is transparency, but transparency in on the right aspects of the game. Sometimes the devs list to the community too much, but on the wrong side, like on the wrong aspects, like making weapons accessible and therefore returning the ultimatum, and the rest is history. Yeah, we do not want that transparency. We need the other ones. We need something new, new as in like innovation. To like start actually listening to your community. Like if you're listening to the community, why is Echo making these ranting videos? Why Mint Gaming is abhorring your actions? Why Agent Shadow thinks you're better off playing another game? You know,
Yeah, man. Like god damn.
like if you are really transparent, then try to explain this. Why are the YouTubers unsatisfied with your game for like the longest fucking time? In fact, I think they have mentally endured the most and the longest compared to us because they are under the supervision. Their channels are under supervision. They're like as if they have agreed to a contract, like some sort of VTuber agency. We will not talk about that soon. We will not talk about that, right?
Oh my
Yeah,
god. Maybe we'll start a new podcast with that. We'll
I,
see. We'll see
I
what happens. But
dude, I am not knowledgeable for that fandom. I'm not
I
knowledge.
mean, yeah.
I'm not that knowledgeable.
I guess I'll be the main talker while you're like you're the kind of position that I am, just like not really shaking out things that much, but it's like the interest is somehow still there to even do something.
I don't know. It's just there's this weird culture. I wouldn't say culture, but people tend to focus on the negative sides of things, and that somewhat attracts somewhat attracts the most attention.
Like we do. Like we do right now.
But we're not doing this for the views because we really fucking hate the game.
No, we're happily expressing our hatred.
Respectful in a respectful way or not, or not.
Doesn't doesn't really matter. I
Platformer free
just it's
speech, they say.
like as long as you make things good out of it, as long as you turn something negative to something positive, it can help you a long way fighting through things.
Ma-
Just saying.
it's like just imagine like a random PG3D worker just watching through our 24-hour collective streams. I'm like, uh,
I give an applause for even enduring this, whether that might be a hard watch or not. But like, let me just wind back to when I actually started watching more of Echo's videos simply because of his, let's say, rebellion arc.
rebellion arc.
Let's just call,
People describe it as
let me
the
just
villain arc.
yeah, the rebellion arc.
Yeah,
Like I see him, and he had like contact with not the internals. Let's just say that the internals of the devs. They seemed they seem nice. I can't be 100% sure if they're genuinely nice or not, but like outward looks and everything like that, they seem nice, to say the least.
I mean, how else
They
would they,
seem,
how else are they gonna represent their own team?
but then again, it's also sad to know that even if they're like legitimately nice and are just nice people, it's sad to see that the internals are just up for something else than whatever these let's say community outlets are doing.
Hmm.
Like, man, if they could really cooperate and actually increase their transparency with those community outlets, like why Russian, and actually using them for the greater good and then actually taking some advice, that would make a difference. That will 100% make a difference.
Yeah, like the last time they actually made a good change was the dev armor update.
Really,
There are some good. That's a good approach. Honestly, one of the best throughout his history. There are some good. There's some pros and there are some also cons in that update. The cons being like the maps being so limited. The pros being you're rewarded with a like the cons. Sorry, let me rephrase. The cons is that you have limited maps and game modes to play, but for the pros you are rewarded with better matchmaking,
mm,
which what
right?
is it, which what the players want. And then but then they're not happy with the drawback, so they somewhat reverted. And recently, like I said, they took
No way.
a slightly altered approach, which is map rotation, but but they do it in a monthly what again, the monthly cycle. They cycle through maps every update. So
Right.
so matchmaking isn't 100% perfect right now. Isn't as good. It wasn't as good as the 18.0 update, but then it is a temporary solution to its ever dying player count.
Man,
But I am appreciate and I'm grateful for the fact that they have never touched Knife Party and Sniper Forts ever. Those two were never taken out nor returned.
because they don't really care about it.
I don't know. Tell me about the other maps.
Man,
Tell me
they
about the
don't
other
really
maps that
care,
were
do they?
barely even active.
Like I'm fully aware that they not even give like a rat shit about.
I still have my doubts. I still have my doubts.
I'm pretty sure they don't really give much of a rat shit about the other maps,
Um,
given that it's just not being played, given their dwindling player base, player count.
but then I'm still grateful. But then I'm still grateful. It's probably like the only map I play at this point.
Uh,
Anything else? Why
right.
you think this game is so fucking bad? So shit.
Hmm. It's like, come to think about it, I might have said it earlier. Not gonna lie,
Yeah, it's just
I might have. It's like I come to this realization that we're just going into a loop of just saying probably the same things over and over again, and somehow still enjoying it.
I know. Like different
Yeah,
forms and
that's
different
like
topics.
what else actually? What else exactly? I know. So
Maybe you
sorry
can
for the
talk
background
about your
voice.
distaste for the funny shotgun on the table right now.
No, I not like I felt like I purposely drew it like that to not 100% appreciate the shotgun as I used to. Man,
So,
It's like if that was my shawl, and then some random friend might be like, "Is that your shawl, man?" I would have a hard time answering yes.
Oh my goodness.
That's how I view the goddamn multi, man. God damn.
Like it used to be your favorite, but because of the recent cultures and then the fucking trends, just makes you
Yeah,
it
and
just repels you ultimately.
the greatest decisions ever made. Like holy shit.
Yeah, I think that also ultimately repelled you from playing the game. Like like
Yeah,
yeah, the first abhorrent actions from the devs that made you left in the stage, yeah.
yeah. I mean, come to think about it, like if there's anything else, like I said earlier, it's the devs not listening. Because again, the lack of transparency. They're not listening. You think they do, but they didn't. Because again, Scott, Echo Soldier, Pixel Echo, whatever you want to call him, made a video, like one of his first videos of his rebellion arc, where he just straight up mentions the bug, like I said earlier in this podcast, and they did not listen. And this is like shit that I've realized that they were such devs at the moment where I was at the verge of quitting the game.
So you
So like I am happy for in one way that the bigger creators are starting to realize what I've realized earlier, like way before they came to the realization and actually just had no other choice than speaking out. Like again, Echo's the biggest bootlicker of the devs. He's been like that for the longest time. So seeing him do that, turning from like the most criticized man for me to like probably one of the most respectable Brit I've ever met by far right now.
what an unexpected turn of events. Honestly, I didn't expect Echo to
Like,
actually start being
yeah,
rebellious.
man. Yeah, man, it's like how the tables have turned. And like if you really think about it, like how it goes now, like how the game works now is like this really sets an example of how to not run a live service game. We've already said this earlier, but I'm gonna say it again. Like this, if this serves any value, it just serves like how to not do a live service games. That's all.
Like as far as I know, being a non-transparent developer isn't as easy to maintain a game. You know, take my take my I guess I can say my most favorite video game right now, Ultra Kill. The director is not transparent at all. Zero transparency. And he made it
Really.
clear. Yes, and he made it clear. And he made it clear. And goddamn, he's so right. So it doesn't. It's not a one size fit all solution. Obviously, some games requires transparency, and some are better off without. And Ultra Kill is one of the best examples because the devs has zero. Yeah, it has from what I've known, zero transparency to his player base. He even made clear that it's a good thing. He even made it clear that thank goodness he's grateful that you guys are not developing the game because shit will go haywire. I'm telling you.
Hmm.
And he's not wrong.
Interesting.
He's not wrong because for a game like Ultra and you see all the suggestions that people have been giving, they are absolutely wild. Holy god, like goddamn, they are wild. They're ridiculous. So
So I guess the community over there is a different, 100%
I
different.
mean, yeah,
Probably
it's a
came up with
different
game
games.
breaking suggestions.
Yeah, it's a different
I mean,
game.
that's true.
So yeah. And yeah, some games, like I said, some games are better off without any transparency, but PG3D is not one of them.
Nah,
I mean, look at the devs. Well, look at what they're trying to do. Are they trying to be like a non-transparent dev team? That fuck no. That's just digging their own grave even deeper.
nah. I mean, I just broaden my perspective a bit. See that a game can actually live without the transparency.
I know, but not every developer can do that. I think that's like a really
I
uh,
feel like not a lot of games are made to be like that.
exactly that is some sort of feat right there. I kind of respect that to actually like to be a director to be a director with zero transparency and to be able to carry out a game that can execute it so well for like 8 years in its developing stages. That deserves some props, man. Let alone being
Damn,
a still a beta game, early access game. Like
man, that's
as of
pretty
now,
something.
I'm only hearing good stuff from Ultra Kill, like good storytelling. So you can kind of tell if there is any if there is like any transparency, even in the slightest, the game will change drastically, probably for the
Hmm.
worse. So you can imagine, yeah. But for PG3D, it needs some of them. It desperately needs some of those transparency. Like I don't know what they're trying to do right now, the devs, but they definitely need some advice from the community right now. The content creator has made it clear. They have given countless suggestions, but the devs just don't give two shits. But
Pretty
you
much.
can kind of imagine how the chat will be like. I've not seen it before, but you can kind of tell. Like the only
Mm,
suggestion they've taken into is just kicking those two YouTubers out of the program, and that's basically it.
mad.
That's it. At least they're aware of
Absolute
that.
madness, man.
Like they only aware
God
about their
damn.
face, I guess, because they don't want the YouTuber to represent their game. So as of now, they only care about their face. But if they really wanted to
Wow.
care about their overall impression so well, then why don't they just start fixing the game? You know?
See, like I feel like whenever I actually learned about the thing I was talking about, like I think that was actually a thing they did good and a thing they probably should have done for the longest time. I don't know about you.
Honestly, the first step is just to literally improve the quality of life in their game. Like, goddamn.
I guess because as much as the weapons is gonna inevitably be fundamentally changing anything of that, come to think about it, probably just need to update quality of life. If anything, maybe the first step, if I actually just steer the ship myself, probably just use statistics. And what I mean by that, well, I don't probably need to spend a lot of time doing that because I'm already well aware that the only game modes that people actually care about right now are like just a few, so that the rest can be deleted, and then we can just focus on those game modes that actually made the PG3D multiplayer the way the PG3D multiplayer was.
Your point was your point was mentioned before in another YouTube video. I think it
I
was
guess
yeah. I think
I
it's
have
one of them.
I have a funny feeling that I did,
Yeah,
probably because I watched that guy.
yeah. You
I don't know
probably have.
exactly who.
You probably have. You probably
Probably,
have.
probably I watched that guy. I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
It makes lots of sense. So, like I said, that's why I said that I claim that 18.0 is one of the best updates because it actually did things right. It's just that the community isn't accustomed to it yet, and they're just being crybabies when they go back and they read what they saw, I guess. So it's not always the dev's fault sometimes.
I don't know. Like the players can be sometimes a bunch of dickheads.
Yeah. So like what you said, like the mini games, they can probably cut that down first. They can just remove
There
some of the
is
mini
no
games.
purpose of the mini games, man. You're not making money. You're honestly just wasting your electrical bills with those, if
Yeah.
anything.
Yes, like the
I
servers.
hate to, I legit hate to break it, but that's literally what's going on with those kinds of game modes that are pretty much dead. It's like, just stop, man, and then try to focus more on what actually gave the identity of the game.
Like game modes, I think they can just reduce it to like the few. I'm not sure about duels. They completely killed that game mode. God damn. That was
I like,
heartless.
man, that was sad to hear, or even learn in the first place that the duels was dead because I did like duels,
I think at some point
and it's extra purpose, but after everything that happened, man,
I remember I was
like
like
yeah, that's heartbreaking to see.
I know, me too, because I remember back in 2022, end of 2022, I was a hardcore duel player.
Yeah, you ain't alone in that, man. I can say to you for sure there.
Like before I was fully transitioned into a full time, my goodness, sniper force player. Duels is like my second playground before Knife Party. Now Knife Party is my second playground. But back then, Duels was my first playground. In fact, for the longest time, no, yeah, for the longest time, I've only realized that I have more duel wins than my deathmatch wins. At some point around 2022 until recent times, until duels is dead, I realized I have more duel wins than deathmatch wins.
I mean, it's quick
Yeah,
too.
yeah, I
Not
know,
only not only does it like serve an additional purpose that is also like that was also back in the day like worth playing for, but the game mode in itself was relatively quick.
I know. It's a quick game of for 1v1, and yeah. It kind of surprises me that I have more duel wins than deathmatch wins. I
I
was like,
mean, no shit, because of the fashion of duels, really.
yeah, and I was like, damn, I wasn't a big fan of duels back then. I suck at the game, and now I'm writing it like a bitch. And look what they done. They killed it.
Yeah.
The intentions of to like prevent chess trading now ultimately kills the game entirely, which goes to show, which also proves that the dual game mode, is also overrun by chess traders. What do you think? Chess traders, yeah.
I'm not surprised because we also seen people who just came up with that kind of bright idea, like esoteric. He
Yeah.
used to do some of those videos, didn't he?
Like to think that the game mode immediately died, reduced to mere players.
Man,
Yeah, I know it's kind of wild.
I don't
So
know. I don't know if it's. I don't know if that's like seeing your child getting murdered,
maybe. But yeah, no,
even
no,
though that's a pretty bold statement to say.
at some point, like I at some point I did wish Duel is a bit more fair or like just die out, but I didn't expect it to die out like this. Now I kind of missed it. Kind of miss duels and its competitiveness.
Hmm.
Like if it wasn't for like the long matchmaking, like people literally waited for 20 minutes or even an hour for a game. I don't know why the fuck are you leaving a game open running for an hour straight. But yeah, people have waited for this long just to get into a game. Shows how dead the game is. The game mode, at least, not the game yet.
Yeah.
So like your take is basically like it's out of fashion, it's outdated.
It's out of fashion. Again, like I said in the previous streams, devs don't even keep their promises.
Yeah,
And it's a game that requires transparency without doubt, but because it's none of that, the game can't really live for that long.
and they're really good at pissing people off. Eh,
I guess that's what they're good at, I guess.
the terrible things they have done.
Man, disheartening shit.
I know.
God damn.
Maybe we can slip in some. I didn't expect this topic to last so short. Maybe we can slip in some other topics about the game we can talk about.
Hmm.
We could talk about.
Anything new, really?
I mean, we could talk about other YouTubers' conspiracy theories.
Yeah, let's bring some of those again.
Let's talk about Mint Gaming. His 30-minute video. God damn, he does it sometime.
Yeah, that was that was a cinema. Holy shit.
Yeah. So he talked about modules being a shit system. If I remember correctly.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean he split into clear chapters. Like kudos to him for splitting those two into chapters that can be watched through and then consumed. Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, modules were one of them. Like I agree. I did mention before that the modules were never really needed, and it's just only a coping mechanism in my eyes.
Like it's so significant. Like the impact. Like a 50% damage boost. That is something else. That is so significant. We're not talking about
And
mere
like
numbers.
one of them, like if it even was Mint Gaming or someone else that talked that said that, oh maybe it was Echo actually, because he assumed that the modules are the main reason why the buffs, the large number of gun tweaks doesn't really mean anything.
Oh yeah, they fucked up the balancing. Yes. Of course.
Yeah, like the balancing notes.
Yes, that is certain. I think not only just that, the armors too, man. The 280 armors, the 260 armors.
Yeah, because modules also applies to armor, which is like, huh.
I mean, as in like
It
defense.
it is like why, man?
Like, like like generally speaking, modules aren't meant to increase your damage.
I feel like that is not exactly necessary. I feel like modules, if anything, are better off just to add some traits to your weapon.
Like
That's
attachments,
like the like yeah, like that gives some kind of buff
like
instead
ammo
of just
buff.
or like some special ability or something. Like man, imagine like oh a rocket launcher, a backup. That sounds crazy, even though that would make the game crazy. Like if modules were like that, it would make more sense. But since how it's designed is like it's going to inevitably just make the players have to focus on to getting some good modules, no matter how you're gonna twist it. Because even with the model that I suggested, it will still be like a coping mechanism for the devs to try to earn some more money.
Hmm.
Despite them having to implement it with my suggested method or their own concurrent method, which doesn't really work so well.
I mean, isn't it overcomplicated too? They say.
It adds complexity and also adds, yeah, I mean, it adds another layer of complexity to
Why though?
that you have to process and shit like that.
Moving on, I think we can talk about the weapon balancing they've discussed it. They have discussed too, like Agent Shadow. We just watched this video. Yeah, those weapons, bro. I doubt they actually playtest them or not with intention.
Yeah, like I don't think he's the only one that stated that they don't play test. I believe also Pixel Echo said that too.
Like on like like if this is actually a deliberate decision, I won't be surprised either. Like if this is
Mm.
deliberate, not playtesting their weapons, then goddamn, I won't be
It's like
surprised. I won't be surprised either.
no wonder why you cause a ruckus in the community. Like holy shit,
Like, is this rage bait? Why would you rage bait your own community?
and it's actually working, which
I,
is the sad
I
part.
mean, think about it. They nerfed a weapon just to release something even more stronger. The power creep. It's like the never-ending power creep because you will lower down the creep. You eradicate the creep first before introducing a new one. You know what I mean?
I feel like that kind of power creep is just worse than the usual power creep you see in the gacha games.
Exactly. Like I said, this is why I think that this is somewhat deliberate.
better off playing gacha games. Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. That's how I describe the game right now. Like this lottery system, what I can describe as better off playing a gacha game. I am not joking when I say that. You literally are better off playing a gacha game. Zenless Zone Zero, Snowbreak, Genshin Impact, whatever the fuck. Gambling
Yeah,
even.
Man, Snowbreak gained some traction. He became my wife right now. My
Do not,
current
but we
digital
do
wife.
not condemn gambling. Please do not gamble in real life.
No, it's like this is how I mean. I'm just doing
No,
it
not
balanced
condemn,
nonetheless.
condone. My bad. You were saying?
No, we do not condone gambling, but yeah,
We will
I
condemn
mean
you
they
for gambling. Sorry, my bad. I got the two words mixed up. My bad. I got the words
no.
mixed up.
I mean I've heard of people just talking about worse gacha games.
Are there any besides Genshin Impact? What, Honkai
Huh?
Impact? Are there any bad?
We got if we were to just dip it in a little bit, uh but besides, I mean we got Nikkei. It's still ruthless because I remember back then I just spent 21K, which is like enough for 70 pools. Not a single SSR, which just goes to show that their gacha system is just brutal. No matter how much they cope with just giving a lot of tickets so that you have a better chance, because technically you do, but at the end of the day there's no guarantee of you getting the featured character whatsoever, whereas in Snowbreak just have a revolution that is like what can only be described as a blessing over there.
Hmm.
And I don't know about the other gacha games like Genshin and Honkai because I don't really play them, and I never really get painted a good picture of those games. Seeing like how numerous players are just complaining about them, the game itself and their system. Doesn't matter if it's like within the Snowbreak server or not because now lately I've been just hanging around there too. There are others. Those are like the big ones mentioned, like Honkai Impact. Deadass probably wanted to play it at one point, but I just didn't for
I never,
some dumb reason.
I've never really played those Hoyoverse games, MiHoYo games, really.
It's
Like,
like now if I want to play any of those games, it would be Zenless Zone Zero or Honkai Impact.
I see. I mean, I tried Zenzone Zero on my phone to prove a fucking point. Don't ask me what it is. And I
Huh.
say for phone,
Why do I?
for mobile gaming, I
Oh,
say it's really well optimized. Unlike Pixagon 3D, yes,
that's crazy.
it's
They
really
have no they have no excuse because games like those requires more, you know,
yeah.
more work with the optimization. And if PG3D can't keep up with the optimization problems, and you see games like those gacha games just high priority on the optimization and making it accessible to as many players as possible, 3D has absolutely no excuse because of how the graphics work over there.
Exactly, like Pixagon 3D is like a it's like Minecraft, not Minecraft, but they describe it as like Minecraft with guns, and it sounds simple to you. Like how can it be so laggy? How can it be so unoptimized? And well, there you go. You have Pixagon 3D. How to fuck up your performance. And then you got Zen Zone
Pretty
Zero.
much.
I was not kidding. Okay, so the only downside of Zen Zone Zero is that on mobile you can only go up to 60 FPS cap. I thought you would go unlimited like the PC, but no, that's not a thing.
Oh, I heard someone else in the Snowbreak server mention
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So
So yeah,
for
yeah.
ZZC, similar to Pixagon 3D, you can only go up to 60 FPS. Maybe to maybe the only reason is to take consideration for the other phones out there that can only have up to 60 FPS refresh rate. So, anyways, out of that out of the way, with that out of the way, graphics settings. I chose the high preset. I did not choose everything to high because I do not know why. I basically chose the high preset, high graphics preset, everything high, very detailed, blah blah blah, and 1080p too. And I was streaming ZZZ on my phone on a Discord call. All right, with my with my alternate account on my PC to join the calls just to see how it performs. And I'm telling you, it's smooth. That's all I can say. There is little to
Damn.
no stutters. There's little to no lag spikes in terms of FPS, and I can stream the game quite well on my 2021 phone. My phone is a 2021 model, so it can run quite smooth, not quite smooth, very smooth, 60 FPS on high preset while streaming on Discord 1080p. Even on the stream itself, it's also smooth, so you can tell that how optimized ZZC can be with complex animations, models, sprites, whatever you want to call it, textures compared to Pixel 3D.
Hmm.
You got Pixel 3D
Interesting.
graphics, but they can be so, but it can be like a daunting task for your GPU, your phone's processor to run the game. And yet you got ZZZ, which works perfectly fine. Like I'm literally playing these games just to prove a point. The point being that optimization for mobile games is a thing, and if you do it right, the game will run spectacular.
I mean, absolutely.
Same goes to 2 years ago when I proved a similar point to my friend, for this accursed game called Blue Archive. Please do not play if you don't want to make fun of. Anyways, so my friend used to complain about how laggy the game is on his phone, and I say, "Fuck no, you're wrong. I'm gonna try to prove you wrong. Is it really that badly optimized like Pixel 3D?" And to my surprise, back then, it was not. It was actually really smooth. Blue Archive. I played Blue Archive just to prove my friend a point. It was actually quite smooth. It runs at 60 FPS and no stutter, no lag spike. So yeah. So Pixel
Damn.
3D. It just goes to show a game like Pixel 3D sucks
Yeah,
at optimizing the game. Like it's just Minecraft models, just a bit slightly altered, and then like how can you fumble this up so badly?
it's absolutely
If
insanity.
you could to
God damn.
if you were to compare the graphics between a MiHoYo game or a Nexus games, I can't remember what's
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
yeah
Again, you're talking about
yeah
some
yeah. It is
developer
like
or
if you were to
company just worked with PG.
yeah if you were to compare like a MiHoYo game, like, let's say yeah a MiHoYo game and a Cubic Games game, you can definitely tell the difference. For whatever goddamn reason is causing the game not being as performant. I don't know. It's just one of those unanswered questions. I'm not a dev myself, but people speculate it's because of the overly animated pets and the amount of particles, which in the end left me to question why can ZZZ with their overly animated characters and sprite and particles can still run more smoothly than Pixel 3D. Like back then, I used to believe that the animation and the flashiness of the game's textures, weapons, whatever, causes the game to be running at low frames. But now you have a game with ZZZ. Now that's just a totally different question. Now they really don't have an excuse. Why the fuck is your game so laggy?
I mean, props to you, man, for even trying to play those games, even though I figure as much that you're not really playing to genuinely want to play a game that is within the gacha genre.
But I'm just there to prove a point. To be fair, I've tried gacha games before. I I did play gacha game like genuinely just for the experience. I At first it was going well, and then when I returned to that same gacha game, it completely changed. Just like Pixagon, it completely changed their gacha system. Now it just feels like any other gacha game. Then that made me that made me delete the game almost instantly.
Damn.
It went from a good gacha game with leniency, good pity system to the most mainstream ones, which obviously left me disgusted. Because I genuinely don't like the gacha system that much. I don't really like the concept, nor do I like the Pixel 3D's lottery system. I hate those. I hate those.
Again, better off playing a gacha
But
game
better
for
off playing a
to
gacha game. You better be off playing a gacha game. I'm telling you. That's how bad. That's how rigged.
play Snowbreak. Play Snowbreak.
That's how
You'll
rigged.
be you
You
play Snowbreak, you'll be blessed with their gacha system because it's something else now.
I miss like even if I only played that gacha game for like 2 months, I still missed it deeply, not deeply, but genuinely, I actually miss those. Like I thought I would be hooked up on a gacha game for once, but no, it's just the same old story over and over again. But yeah, like I said, better off playing a gacha game. That's how bad. That's how rigged the game's
Oh,
shit
man,
lottery is. Like you get parts and not the entire weapon. You get parts of it.
man,
Consider
absolutely mind blowing.
I know, and that is why people are leaving the game. But that's
Yeah.
like more of a old reason, I would say. Like I reckon that no, I reckon I believe that the moment the lottery system was introduced, I think like back in 2018, I think that's where the downfall begins. So the downfall
Oh
began.
boy, oh boy.
Yeah, when the lottery system was a thing, I think that's where people start leaving the game. And but back then it wasn't as harmful. It wasn't as demotivating because of the rise of gacha games. I suppose I assume that people have gone used to it. They have gone numb. But apparently, Pixel 3Ds is a bit too much to handle. It's just as merciless.
Hmm. Yeah,
That's their take.
absolutely insane.
We've talked about
Yeah.
this before. We talked about the shitty ass lottery before. We're just talking about it. We just
Yeah, we just extended it with like adding other games now,
as
which made it
comparison.
more interesting.
So
Made it more interesting. By the
basic.
way, I gotta take a quick piss.
All
I
right.
said I'll be right back, and I will be back. Just gotta go take a quick piss, and I'll be back.
All right.
Like I said. Yeah, just go.
So like I said, ZZZ being a new game has totally changed my view on optimization on mobile games. It maybe it took me by surprise that something I would thought would be impossible is possible, which is having complex animation, bunch of particles, and yet still being able to be more performant. They basically defied like the principle I had in mind, my personal principle, which is like overall like a lot of post processing, so many particles, a lot of excessive animation will make the game run at low frames. But ZZZ has proven me wrong, and I stand corrected.
Hmm. All right.
So that's kind of new. That's kind of surprising for someone who doesn't play gacha games. But yeah, to see a game like this, kind of impresses me. Not gonna lie.
I
Honestly,
mean, yeah,
now Pix Country doesn't really have an excuse. I don't think they really have a valid excuse on
they
why the
have
game.
they have absolutely no excuse
Like with
at this
ZZZ,
point.
with the release of ZZZ, that's the final nail in the coffin, bro. I'm telling you.
In terms of performance.
In terms of performance, yes, that's the final nail to the coffin. They seriously have no more excuse. Holy shit.
Damn, man.
I thought that wouldn't be possible. But no, ZZ managed to take the best out of both worlds. Took me by surprise. I'm not joking. Like more than like I'm more surprised than how I was when I was playing Blue Archive. But when I was playtesting Blue Archive, don't take it out of context. I don't play that game. But yeah,
Mm.
I mean to be
Right,
fair,
right,
like
right.
depending on like you remember correctly, like Blue Archive is like some sort of third person Helldivers type game. I'm not sure. I don't know how to describe it, but basically not doing the most of the shooting. It's like Clash Royale, but you fucking move. Yeah, I think that's how I put it. It's like Clash Royale. There's
Right,
like cards and there's like something that will fill up before you can do something, you know? Yeah. And
right, right,
then
right.
ZZZ is just Honkai Impact. That's how I would
I
describe it
got
actually. Yeah. That's how I would describe it. Yeah, this just goes to show, man. Anything is possible if you are good at it.
you. Absolutely.
Anything else you want to talk about, like the
Uh,
ever dying? I mean, we've been covering the same thing over and over again. Why game is so shit. I've talked about mine.
yeah.
You've talked about yours, and that's basically it. Honestly, I hate to
I
say it.
feel like
I
when
don't really end the stream right now. I don't really want to end the stream right now. It's only merely 2 hours. Well, like
you want to extend it to another close to 3 hour stream. Okay.
I'm not sure whether we are able to do that because usually our stream lasts a bit longer, like 2 hours and 48 minutes. Usually the 2 hour and 40 mark.
Yeah, that's like usually when we wrap up, but hey, we'll just go with the flow.
Yeah, let's see how much. Let's see what else we can come up with. I mean, since no one's watching
Uh,
right now.
what else really? Were there other YouTubers that mentioned something? We can go back to the mid video and then recap on whatever he said regarding the game.
Oh yeah, they talked about the OP weapons they've introduced. Oh yeah, right. We can talk about that actually. So
The OP weapons. I mean, this goes like along with the imbalance and also the worsening of life, quality of life with
yeah,
those.
I wanted to share you about this thing about the damage reduction thingy. The thing is that they could have done better at it because let me tell you, I don't think you know about this. So they introduce a like a pair of boots that will accelerate your speed after killing, and then that's just the boots alone. But then you have another melee combo that also increases your speed after a kill. I think you know that one, right? The magic combo,
Ah,
the blood thrice the combo. I think that increases your speed
right.
after a kill. And you would think that if you were to combo it, if you were to combo the melee and the boots itself, you would go even faster. But no, there's actually a cap. There's actually a cap into how fast you can go. People
Mm.
and then that left people, and then after some research, people claim that you are better off wearing the boots than using the than using the melee combo because you run faster with the boots after killing, and they do not stack. The acceleration do not stack even though you have both on, and if you wear the boots and use the magic melee combo, you will only move as fast as the module combo instead of like the higher speeds that the boots can offer. So if the devs can make precaution measures like that, like capping the speed so you won't run too fast, why cannot they do that to the same? Why can't they do the same thing on damage reduction barriers? So what I'm trying to say that they could have execute it better. They could have balanced the weapon even better by just setting up a cap into uh, setting a cap to how much damage can be reduced, because you can stack up damage reduction ability, like you can hold up the rusted revolver that gives you 50% barrier, and then you equip the reflector that absorbs even more damage, you know,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
that gives you a 75% damage reduction. You literally only take 25% damage. Or let's say you pair it up with uh the the cape that reduces damage from snipers, that will be even you will take even you will take even lesser damage.
Sorry for the background noise.
No,
Didn't find a better place to do this.
right, it's all right, it's all right. So as I was saying, and you got wearers, you got capes that reduce damage taken even further, and it stacks even, so you can tank even more damage, and that ruins the fun because while you taking less damage, your output damage doesn't change. So that obviously gives an unfair advantage.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is that if the devs can cap the maximum speed you can travel, why can't they do the same for damage reduction?
I have no clue, man.
Like the maximum I think you can go to is taking 5% damage, and that's it. Like that's the highest you can go.
Hmm.
Under every circumstances, under every possible buffs and nerfs, you can take up to 95% damage. You can tank up to 95% damage. So imagine like 1,000 damage, but you can only take like what, five? I don't know, 5 damage or something, or 50 damage. Yeah, so that's
Uh,
insane. That is obviously not balanced, and that ruins the fun of a lot of people. Like what Agent Shadow mentioned, just some PC players with a stupid revolver that reduces damage taken can instantly one shot to the head. Like I said, it's unfair. But what I think, like I think the only good example of a balanced weapon with the barrier damage reduction would be the Dreams Warden. It has X-ray and wall break, but then it has mediocre damage, so it kind of makes up to its damage barrier. If you
hmm.
know what I'm talking about, because you take less damage, but in return you output you take less damage. You also deal less damage. If you know what I mean. So it's somewhat balanced, unlike the
Uh,
rusted revolver with a high fire rate and high damage, and yet you only take like half the damage. That's not fair, obviously.
hmm.
So weapon balancing, it's just out of the charts in a bad way. Like I said, I don't think they play test the weapons, and I think that's
Okay.
also a deliberate choice, deliberate decision, because because it's evident. Personally, I think it's evident because they introduced something like the porcelain sniper that heals you to full HP after they literally nerf another weapon that does the same thing. They nerf a power creep to introduce a new creep. So I'm telling you,
Uh,
the devs not playtesting with their weapons is definitely a deliberate choice. I think they actually calculated this or some shit. I don't know.
like I said this before too, but I also believe that the devs deliberately just sweep one OP thing just under the rug, and then over time bring it back. I've
Yeah.
already seen that happen several times over the years of this game. like
Yeah,
legit.
that's like
That's also one of the other reasons to why I was like, man, I don't know how to describe this game because the game really can't decide whether they should keep the trend or not when they keep doing shit like this.
hmm I don't think they can keep getting away like this, honestly.
Mm,
What else?
man, the first time getting stuck, no way.
Yeah, I'm actually stuck right now. I'm actually stalled. I really can't think of anything. This is how empty my mind is right now. Always prepare for your stream, guys.
Pretty much. But like I just love mumbling. I just love talking it out for the street without having any kind of mastery or nothing like that really.
Yeah, if not, because the game is so dry that spontaneously coming up with topics about the game is a daunting task.
Pretty much.
Like call it you call it weird for doing it spontaneously, but shouldn't be podcasts are like this? I don't know.
Nah.
Shouldn't podcasts be
I,
like this? I'm not sure.
maybe not. Maybe not. Well, we did it anyways because we felt like trying.
Yeah, I really try my best. It's almost 2 hours anyways, so I really do not mind if you want to wrap the stream up here.
I don't mind.
Oh God.
We already said our thoughts, and then we'll see if there's actually anything new coming up our way.
Yeah. Maybe we can cover up uh the other YouTubers' theories in more detail next time. I'll make a document of
Yeah,
it, make a part two, make a part three, but a part two for a video, part three for a podcast.
right.
I mean, to be fair, I did mention in my my work in progress video that conspiracy theories will be split into three videos. So, this is perfect. Maybe with our maybe the second maybe part two being the shortest one because it's just our own opinion, our own sentiment, and it's evidently show that it's kind of short.
Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe we'll come up with things along the way. So, I guess we'll stop the stream here. I didn't expect
Yeah.
it to be the shortest one. I hope
I
in the future. I
yeah.
I I really hope in the future we can make it even longer just to keep it up the standard 2 hour and 40 minutes. I really like that.
I mean that did work. Just letting the time pass in a graceful way for me.
Hmm. What better way to spend your Sunday night than ranting the game that you loved?
Yeah,
It does. So,
man. One of the many beautiful things in life.
what what a solace,
Yeah, indeed.
indeed. So yeah, I think we'll wrap it up
Yeah.
this episode here. Thank you for
Yeah,
tuning
thank you
in.
guys for watching. Yeah, thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, and I'll see you guys next time, I guess. See ya.
Yeah. Bye bye.